Remaining SPFL fixture of the weekend. It is live from Pittodrie Stadium here on Sportsound at BBC Radio Scotland. Aberdeen against Rangers with Willie Miller and Liam McLeod.
Well, Aberdeen had their opportunities at Ibrox on Tuesday, but in truth it was a pretty comfortable victory for Rangers. Those first half headers from Fernandes and Raskan enough to earn the points. And if Rangers have designs on winning the title, and they do, and perhaps didn't in the early autumn, then they need the 3 points. It's a non-negotiable. Hearts 6 clear at the top, on 6 points clear of Celtic and Rangers, having played the same number of matches. So Rangers know the importance of a win here, even if it will mean that they've played a game more than the current league leaders, as the two sets of players break away from the handshakes. One last little word with each other. The Rangers players taking on a little bit more fluid down below us as the two captains, James Tavernier and Graham Shinney, stand either side of the referee, David Dickinson, who did take charge of the 4-0 Rangers win in this fixture at the end of last season. It's the first time he's taken charge of it here in the North East, though. Aberdeen potentially a 4-3-3. It could be 3 at the back with Polvara in there as he started at Ibrox, but if it's a 4-3-3, it'll be Mitov, Devlin, Milne, Knooster and Jamfi, with Polvara, Clarkson, Shinney, Milanovic, Carlson, Lazetic. 4 alterations from the side that started in Glasgow. Rangers, it's Asgard for Barron, who's injured, so Butland in goal, Tavernier, Suter, Fernandes, Meghoma, Diamonde, Asgard, Raskan, Gassama, Moore, Shermiti. And just about ready to go then here in the Granite City. Aberdeen all in red with white flashes will shoot from right to left towards the beach end as we watch from the back of the main stand. Went off to the right of the halfway line on the opposite side from the TV cameras here at Pittodrie. Rangers in their change colours, or one of their change colours, black and grey, and they'll shoot from left to right towards the red shed, Merkland Road, King Street end, off to our right. And it's going to be Leighton Clarkson who starts for Aberdeen for the first time since the end of August, and a defeat here to Falkirk. Milanovic starts for the first time since the defeat at Tannadice to Dundee United in September. As Peter Leven, the interim manager, puts his own stamp on things, Clarkson rolls it back to Mitov, who launches it forward with the right foot out to this near side, but it's one in the air there by Gassama. Breaks to Jamfi, back to Knooster, and his attempted ball down this left-hand side is cut out by Shermiti, and out for an Aberdeen throw-in on this near side. Very blustery here, it's very cold as well. The rain has subsided for now. There's lots more forecast this evening here in Aberdeen, though, as there is for much of the country, as Devlin finds Milanovic over on the far side, rolling it forward, misunderstanding with Polvara, and it will be mopped up by Fernandes. Up the line, Devlin clears, back down the line, and out for it's gone out for a Rangers throw-in over on the south stand side. The one thing Aberdeen cannot afford to do today, Willie, is concede 2 cheap goals from corners, as they did at Ibrox on Tuesday, and from the free kick set play they did at Falkirk the match before.
Yeah, you know, I'm sure there would be a fair bit of work done on the training ground in terms of the organisation. And it's really, you know, it's so important set pieces. Games are won and lost, as you've described there. The last game that was the case, and it's just about making sure that the organisation is right, and that players are doing what they're supposed to do, and making first contact with the ball that comes into the box. The amount of times I watch Aberdeen from free kicks and corner kicks, and the ball comes in and they don't make the first contact. Listen, there's plenty of red jerseys there, but there's no one taking the responsibility and going and winning the ball.
That's been a poor season for Aberdeen, as Milne knocks it out of defence to Milanovic, and back to Devlin over on the right hand side. Willie with me at Pittodrie, Derek Ferguson's in the studio for us. We'll go to him throughout the match as Devlin races forward down that right hand side. It's a good run, but another misunderstanding, and this time it's with Milanovic, who went the wrong way. Ball went behind him, and Rangers have it back with Moore, though his ball in field's cut out by Devlin. And now it's with Leighton Clarkson. You happy to see the Aberdeen number 10 back in the starting 11, Willie? He looked to be persona non grata here.
I think he was, and it made it known that he was unhappy and wanted away from the club as well, and he wasn't getting the opportunity. And I can understand his frustration because he is a very talented young man, and you know, he can control games when he's at his very best, but I don't think he's shown that very best this season. He's getting the opportunity tonight.
Side of play for a Rangers throw-in on this near side. Danny Rule down there with a big coat on, the hands in pockets. made a fabulous start to life as Rangers manager. The fact he's got them back in any kind of title race at all is testament what he's done so far. As Tavernier takes the throw in on this near side from the halfway line, bounces off the head of Sharmiti and out for an Aberdeen throw. And Sharmiti didn't really know where the ball was. It kind of came off the back of his head and out for a Don's ball on this near side. And Emmanuel Jamfi is over it. He'll be hoping for an extended run in the team, having been hit by injuries since arriving in the summer from Schalke. As his ball down the line's cut out by Raskan, he gives it away. It's been a scrappy start. It's no surprise given the wild conditions here tonight, I suppose. So that goes out for another throw-in to Aberdeen on this near side. We're not really expecting a thing of beauty here at Pittodrie, but you'll be hoping for the same kind of drama that we saw down the road at Dens earlier.
No, absolutely, and at times just a long ball forward can cause defences problems. Not in this occasion, as Aberdeen just hoof it forward. I think it's about not taking too many chances at the back. You know, I know that modern day football coaches are very keen on centre backs starting the play, but in these type of conditions, you know, I don't think you should overplay it. And at times it might be that the direct ball is the right one to play.
There's a throw into Aberdeen over on the far side. Milne took it, but the ref has I'm not sure if he's giving it the other way, but he's certainly stopped Aberdeen in their tracks. David Dickinson in charge of things today. John Beaton is on VAR. It's going to be a Rangers ball, and it's Megoma who's over it on the far side. The Aberdeen supporters not happy with that decision. It's going to be Megoma. He's going to take it eventually about level with the edge of the centre circle inside his own half. Forward it goes to Sharmiti, holding off Devlin. The challenge from Milne and out off Sharmiti last. And Aberdeen do have a throw in on the far side. It is 0-0. We've played 4.5 minutes. Hearts sitting on 47 points. Celtic and Rangers on 41. And Sharmiti tries to spin away from Milne. He's lost out though, and then Raskan wins it back now. He gives it away, and it's with Dante Polvara on the far side. It's through the legs of his opposite number and finds Milanovic, and out to Clarkson to Shinnie. Shinnie barged to the ground by Diamonde, and Aberdeen have a free kick to the right of the centre circle, just inside their own half, just about on the halfway line in fact.
It's really difficult conditions out there, isn't it though? I mean, the wind is very, very strong, and at times, you know, out there Pittodrie it can swirl as well. Really difficult to judge any kind of a pass, weight of pass, or how it's coming to you, and controlling the ball can be difficult as well. And I think we're seeing that's a very scrappy start. We're only 5 minutes into the game, so we hope that it's going to get better, but you know, so far the players are struggling to cope with the conditions.
Well, the cynical out there were suggesting that had this game not been on live TV, there would have been no game at all. Looking at a postponement, the weather up here has been shocking for the last 10 days. Been a lot of the snow's melted away, but it's still hardly conducive to a good football match. Here's Jamfi for Aberdeen, and field to Polvara midway inside the Rangers half, back into the centre circle for Clarkson, who ushers it out wide right for Milanovic. He can take on Mekhoma, instead he cuts in field and flicks it back with the outside of the boot for Clarkson. He does likewise to move it right to left of the circle for Canuster, who will drive forward into the Rangers half, out to Carlson, first time to Shinnie, now back to Canuster, wide in the left. His cross ball is well off point, and it sails high over the bar and behind for a Rangers goal kick. But it's good positive play by Aberdeen, and in particular Mats Canuster. He's been at the club for a year now, and probably one of the few signings that Yemi Tilleen brought in who's impressed.
I would say so, yeah. I think he's got a very intelligent left foot. You know, he's very decent defensively as well. Quite strong in the one-to-one battles, and he's prepared to drive forward. You saw on that occasion him getting himself forward. Unfortunately, I don't think there could have been a worse cross into the box at the end of it, but really slick play from Aberdeen. A number of passes, good link-up play as well. Only spoiled with Canuster. Cross comes shot. I wasn't too sure what it was, but way over the bar.
Rangers have it with Fernandez driving up to halfway. He's given it away and straight to Devlin. Thumps it forward towards Milanovic. He's on the ball now. Aberdeen and a man down, but Milanovic continues into the box. Chance Aberdeen. Brilliant block. Suter breaks to Lazatic. He can't control. Now Polvara. Now the whistle goes, and Rangers have a free kick at the edge of their own box. Well, it looked as though Nicholas Milanovic was going to be in there to potentially score his first Aberdeen goal. It's an outstanding block though, wasn't it? It was. John Suter there, you know, identifying the danger. Although we've got to say, Milanovic, really good play down that right hand side, cutting in onto his left foot, but Suter, he just
he senses the danger. It's a good trait to have if you're a central defender, and he certainly sensed it there, and they got a magnificent block in. It was heading goal bound, there's no doubt about that. Whether they beat Butland or not so sure, but Suter, excellent defender.
I don't think Willie was able to see much of the game at Dens earlier, but some of the Hearts defending you'd have been very impressed with, not just the outstanding, extraordinary save from Craig Gordon, but brilliant performances from the likes of Halkett and Kent, who came on in the second half. As Aberdeen pick up a free kick on this near side, that result certainly has put pressure on Rangers to deliver this afternoon, but the visitors haven't really settled in the match yet. It's Aberdeen who have it, and it's Milne who knocks it forward to Dante Polvara in the centre circle. He's had it nicked off him though, and Asgard comes away and shifts it to his right for Gassama. First time in field to Diamonde, who shoots and forces the save from Mitov, who throws himself to his right to put it behind for the corner. It's an outstanding effort from Diamonde, and Mitov, he's been questioned recently, comes up with the first big save of the match as that swerved and made its way towards his goal.
It was moving, wasn't it? It's a magnificent strike from Diamonde. It just bounces up perfectly for the volley, and he goes for the top left-hand corner. I would say that Mitov sees it all the way. He manages, although it's moving, you can actually see it in the replay how it's moved, but he's timed, he's leaped well. He's got good strong hands on it as well. Puts it out for the corner.
Tavernier and McHoma are both out there on that far side. Looks like the in-swinger from the captain though. Rangers attack the goal to our right. This is over on the south stand side. Tavernier bends it in to the 6-yard area. It's another header which is wide. Fernandez, who was very close to repeating the trick from Tuesday when he gave Rangers the lead from a corner. Once again, Aberdeen very, very unconvincing at defending the set play.
Oh, who's picking him up? It's incredible. I mean, again, he's lost his man. I'm not sure, is it Nicky Devlin? He seems to have went to ground, but you've got Fernandez there, big target, gets the header on it. He should do better in my book. I think he should, at least be hitting the target. Kind of comes off the top of his head. So it's an opportunity not taken, but for me, poor defending from the Dons as well.
Polvara clashed with Asgard in the midfield. Aberdeen have it with Carlson on this near side. One of 4 alterations to the Dons team from the one that started in Glasgow. It's a dreadful touch by Polvara, allows Raskan to pick it up and shift it to the left there for Moore. Rangers have sprung to life in the last couple of minutes. Moore playing it short to Asgard and out to Tavernier on this near side. Up the line for JD Gassama against Gyamfi. Gyamfi then hauls him down, and that'll be a Rangers free kick over on this near side touchline, about halfway inside Aberdeen territory. And he's felt that, Gassama. He's holding his left arm. Seems to have a problem there after the challenge with the German fullback. Kind of wrestled him to the deck there.
Yeah, I think both of them had forgotten about the ball, certainly. Gyamfi had, there's no doubt that it was a free kick. It gives Rangers an opportunity down the right-hand side to curl one in again.
A few Rangers players standing in offside positions in the box at the moment. Aberdeen with a very high line along the 18 yards, and it's Tavernier who's going to take and to bend this in behind into that corridor between the keeper and the penalty spot. He has done, headed half away by Shinnie. Lazetic and then Milanovic complete the clearance, and it's ended up back in the Rangers half. Aberdeen trying to push out, but it's Tavernier with a long ball looking for Suter, asking way too much of John Suter, who made his Dundee United debut as a raky 16-year-old right back here under Peter Houston. To his first senior club. Gassama's requiring treatment. Will be an Aberdeen goal kick when this is dealt with, but Rangers have enjoyed the last few minutes of the match.
No, they have, and of course the Aberdeen problems, set-piece problem in particular, but the Diamonde strike was something special, and a really good save from Mitov. I think he sees it all the way at that. The defence that I would put up, in terms of rating that save, there's nothing in front of him. It does move though, so that makes it kind of difficult to judge, but it's a very decent save. And then from the corner kick, Fernandez getting the opportunity at the back post again, unmarked. You're like, why is he unmarked? I think it was Nicky Devlin, but Nicky had went to the ground, and it allowed him the opportunity to get his head on it. From an Aberdeen point of view, it was fortunate that it didn't find the back of the net. From a Rangers point of view, I think he should have done much better with the header.
Were you here when Bojan Miovski made his final Aberdeen appearance, Willie, in front of the red shed, when he was crying tears upon his departure from here? Well, the booing you heard in the background was Miovski going for a little warm-up in front of the red shed, returning in Rangers colours. Many have done it. They're not tended to be viewed very fondly when they do. I think the only one who ever got away with it was the late great Neil Cooper, former teammate of Willie's, who actually scored for Rangers here back in 1988 before Aberdeen turned around to win 2-1. As Rangers pick up a free kick for offside there, Fernandes will take it. Zidon's tried to get forward to no avail, and Fernandes is over this one. So 0-0, 13.5 minutes played here at Pittodrie. These two go head-to-head again for the second time in less than a week. Aberdeen haven't won any of the last 4 meetings, going back to that win year past October when they moved 9 points clear of Rangers. They joined Celtic at the summit of the Premiership. Things have completely imploded in league terms since then. Long free kick from Rangers over to this near side. Jampy's onto it down the line. Carlson with a header. Comes off Suter's head, but there's a push by Lazetic as the referee. It's not something the Aberdeen interim Peter Leven agrees with, as he remonstrates with the fourth official Ian Snedden and the match referee Dickinson.
The modern game, a little push like that doesn't normally get the whistle blown at it. For me, it is a push. I think he's put John Suter off, but when I've watched the games in recent years, that kind of a it's a very light touch on his back. It puts him off a little bit, doesn't put him off enough in my book, and referees normally just allow play to continue.
Sharmiti spinning away from Knustar and shooting wide with the left foot. Well, it's good play by the big Rangers number 9. He kind of swatted Knustar aside and went for goal and just couldn't get it on target. It stays goalless.
I think it was just the two arms the ball touched though on that occasion. I think if it had went into the back of the net, then it would have been definitely looked at, that's for sure. For me, it was a handball. The Aberdeen players were contesting that as well.
Clarkson goes long, Lazetic chases, Suter got a touch and it was enough to get it back to Butland, who smothers at the feet of Lazetic at the edge of his box and turns it to his left for Fernandes and out to Mekhoma on that far side. Milanovic fouls Mekhoma, Rangers free kick on the far side, and the referee wants to speak to the Aberdeen winger, the Australian who recently got himself into the Socceroos team in his first Australia caps the tail end of last year, but it's been hard going for him here. He's the A-League Player of the Year last season, but hasn't caught fire in an Aberdeen shirt as yet. It is Milanovic on the far side, under pressure midway inside his own half from Sharmiti. He's won it back off him. Sharmiti gets away from Devlin, rolls it in the box for Moore on the turn, looking for Asgard. They've overplayed it, it's blocked. Breaks out to this near side for Gassama. Infield to Raskan, flicks it back to Tavernier, bends the cross ball in. A push on Devlin, surely there was. Free kick with Sharmiti making his presence felt, and it stays Aberdeen 0, Rangers 0 on 60 minutes.
Yeah, I think you've got to make a judgment. Milanovic out on the right hand side there, when you try to take players on, when you try to keep possession, and when you just take the simple option of perhaps just playing the ball forward. Milanovic there putting his defence in real trouble, and Rangers moving the ball exceptionally well, perhaps overplaying it, as you said, Liam. Maybe the strike would have been better coming in from that side, but for me, Milanovic has got to be a little bit more cuter, use what he's got in between his ears, particularly at this stage of the game. It's finely balanced, isn't it? I would say Rangers have had the best of it.
There's a long ball through towards Lazetic. He's driving forward. Can he get in behind? He's on the ball. The two centre backs are with him though. Lazetic left hand side of the box, and it just gets away from him, but it breaks to Carlson, the left angle of the penalty area. Rolls it back to Jampy, looking for space to cross perhaps here. Jampy decides to roll it back to Shinnie. Shinnie twists away from Raskan. Now with Leighton Clarkson, encouraged to shoot. He does! What a good save by Butland! Outstanding save from the low Clarkson effort, which is making for that bottom right. The goalkeeper But he's seen it a bit late there, I think, so credit to Butland for the save. Aberdeen have their first corner, and it stays 0-0.
Well, he's getting plenty of encouragement from the crowd to shoot, and they really did. They get plenty of power low, and you're absolutely spot on. I don't think Butland saw that to the last moment. He had to really react, throwing his hand out to the left-hand side. A low one coming off the surface as well. For me, quite a magnificent save.
And he scored against Rangers the last time they were here, a 2-0 lead. Aberdeen squandered as it finished 2 each against 10 men. Clarkson's corner comes in, it's headed up into the air by Fernandez. Way more height than distance though. It's still in the mixer, but it comes right through to Butland, who holds on. It trundled back through to the Rangers number 1, and he's bowled it out to Tavernier on this near side. He's attempted big switch, is cut out by Polvara, but it does break back to Tavernier, who pushes it infield to Raskan. Back to Tavernier now with Asgard on the near side. Long ball forward. Canuster has to be careful. Chermiti close quarters. Chermiti's got it off him, and then Canuster goes in, and Chermiti on this near side. The Rangers striker's gone down as if he's been badly hurt by that tackle, as Canuster came thundering into him right on the byline on this near side.
I think there was contact, but for me, Canuster gets the ball first. It's not a great clearance initially. From seeing a little bit of a replay here. No, he has caught Chermiti on the touchline there. So I think Canuster getting kind of off of that, because it looked to me as though it was a tackle that should have been certainly penalised, and the referee should be speaking to the Aberdeen defender.
Throw in only to Rangers, level with the edge of the D of the Aberdeen box on this near side. Tavernier over it. Rangers looking to make the breakthrough here. The 20th minute of the match. 0-0. Long thrown into the box from Tavernier. Headed away. Breaks to Diamonde. And now Moore clips it into the box. It's poor though. Right through to Mitov. He's been told by the Aberdeen fans to wallop it up the pitch, which he's done. Can Milanovic get onto it? Yes, he can. It's a great ball by Mitov. Milanovic level with the Rangers 18-yard line now. Shows way too much of it to Diamonde. It was a good defensive job to win it back. It's a real waste for Aberdeen, and it stays Aberdeen 0, Rangers 0.
That's a great opportunity, isn't it? Milanovic's got to do much better. Good defending from Diamonde, absolutely, and superb distribution from Mitov. That's you know what, a 60-yard pass with accuracy, and getting Aberdeen from the goalkeeper to an attacking position, but Milanovic not making what he should of that opportunity.
There's Clarkson knocking it out to this near side for Canuster. Down the line it goes to Carlson. Now Jamfi breaks to Lazetic. Little flick back towards Carlson. Might have looked good in his head, but he's giving it away, and it goes back to Butland, who plays it short to Fernandez. Well, these Aberdeen players have had to train indoors at the sports complex quite close to here, the Sports Village. It's just a couple of streets up from here. Their training centre's a good few miles out of the city centre, and there's I don't think there's been a single flake of snow in the Glasgow area for Rangers to contend with over the course of the last week or so. And Aberdeen have been put out, certainly. How much of an impact will that have on them? You would have gone through plenty harsh winters here. You didn't have the luxurious training facilities they have these days.
Just down the beach, 5-a-side probably. That's as long as the tide was out, of course.
Of course. There's Milne playing it forward. It bounces off Raskan, kept in play by Gassama on the near side, and field to Tavernier to Raskan, gets it back from Gassama. It's lovely play by Rangers, and now it's with Asgard. Goal side of Carlson, rolls it wide right for Raskan. Good challenge there by Clarkson. It will be at the expense of a corner. And the Aberdeen supporters happy to see Clarkson back in the team. It was defensive work he had to do there though. Really good build-up play by Rangers. Got themselves out of a tight spot here.
It wasn't it? Pretty easy in the eye watching Rangers manoeuvre themselves down the right-hand wing here, and Raskin getting the opportunity, and I thought he had the betterment of Clarkson there, but he stuck to it, young Leighton Clarkson, and got a really good challenge in. Good defensive work.
Homa with the short corner to Tavernier, gives it back to Homa. Left foot cross comes in, it's decent, a goal! Brilliant finish from Asgard. First time he wasn't facing the goal, but he's managed to smash it past Mitov. And another set play costs Aberdeen. Fabulous finish at Taylor Asgard though, and it's Aberdeen 0, Rangers 1.
Listen, it's well worked, isn't it, from Rangers' point of view? It's absolutely the one that they've been working on, and when that cross comes into the box, Asgard makes the run across the face of the red jerseys in there. And it doesn't need power behind it. It just needs to get his instep or his side foot on it, or both perhaps, as you're just trying to manoeuvre that ball towards the goal. It comes flying off his boot into the back of the net. I mean, Mitov, he's dived, but by the time he dives, the ball's in the back of the net. So from the corner kick, again, as you said, another set piece that has undone Aberdeen. But from a Rangers point of view, listen, that what that they have done on the training field certainly bearing fruit. That was quite a superb, well-worked goal from the right-hand corner, and just a fabulous finish, isn't it? I think it's his side foot that takes it in, but the power behind it is quite intense.
Yeah, it's really nonchalant there from the Norway international, and Rangers have a lead. Derek Ferguson watching this from the warmth of the Glasgow studio. Derek's a fabulous finish.
Yeah, Liam, I was initially thinking, why you not just putting it in directly, because Fernandes had a wonderful opportunity, but yeah, Willie's just touched on it. It's well worked on the training ground, and I tell you what, it doesn't need power. It just guides it in. The pace is on the ball. It's a wonderful finish, shows a little strength coming off the Aberdeen defender, and then just guides it into the back of the net. Wonderful goal for Rangers. Poor one from Aberdeen.
Yeah, and lots been made of the set-piece coach that Rangers have at the club now, and the number of times they're able to profit from that, and defensively speaking as well. But it is clearly making a huge difference to their output in that area, and Aberdeen can learn from that. I wonder if a set-piece coach is going to be on their wish list going forward, because Aberdeen looking rudderless on the pitch right now. And given the number of managers they're going through, rudderless off it in many respects, as Polvara rolls it to Devlin on that right side. So Rangers with the lead, looking to keep their excellent run of form going and put more pressure on Hearts at the top of the table. But since Danny Rule joined the club in October, Rangers have registered the most wins, most points, most goals of any side in the Scottish top flight. I think only Motherwell had conceded fewer coming into this weekend in that sample size. It's Jack Milne's big crossfield ball sails into touch, and the troubles just continue to mount for Aberdeen, and they're looking like they're in a battle for top six, never mind the European spots this season. And you look at the league table right now, and given the financial outlay here, that is a staggering underachievement. Rangers have the ball, bowled to the halfway line for Gassama. Good turn against Devlin. Out to this near side. Gassama finds Moore, edge of the box, hits him with the left foot, and there's a comfortable take for Mitov, who holds on. And Aberdeen are going to have to be careful here. Well, they've said this at Ibrox on Tuesday. If they're not careful, this game could get away from them pretty quickly.
Yeah, it certainly can, and it's all Rangers. Rangers get their tails up there as well. Some good play, some good interlinking play, good understanding there as well. From Rangers, when Moore gets the strike, it's from his point of view, it's just straight at Mitov. It's quite an easy take for the Aberdeen goalkeeper, but a really impressive move that ends up with another strike and goal.
Rangers have won 5 of their last 6, the only exception being the defeat at Tynecastle. Because Diamonde picks up on the far side the challenge from Devlin, and out for a Rangers throw-in. So Rangers in front and in control of proceedings here at Pittodrie as the rain comes on again. It's whipping round the stadium under the lights here. It's unusual kick-off time, certainly for Scottish football. As Meghoma picks up on the far side and turns away from Lazetic, back facing the Aberdeen goal, up to the goal scorer Askar, but he's put it out of play for a throw-in on the far side. Now, the atmosphere from the Aberdeen supporters was pretty good in the opening exchanges of the match, but what's happened here extremely often this season is the performance on the pitch, and the outcome as well has delivered a real flatness about this place. And you consider where it was 12 months ago.
Yeah. I mean, that's the case, but I think you've got to expect that when the team are not playing well, they're not creating opportunities. That's been the story of the games at Pittodrie, and the games away from home as well, Liam. But the fans have turned out in their numbers. They've been very, very supportive last season and this season, but they haven't been getting value for money. I don't feel, simply because it's not been good enough out there. I mean, for instance, we haven't seen Carlson at all in the game. Milanovic has had a bit of a input on the right hand side, but down the left hand side, Carlson and Lazetic has had no opportunities, and it doesn't look as though the Dons are capable of building things up.
Mitov comes, makes a mess of it, and Fernandes heads home. 2-0. 2-2 for Fernandes against Aberdeen. It's another set play. This one's unforgivable because it's come from inside the Rangers half. A long ball forward. Mitov caught in no man's land, and Fernandes says thanks very much to loop the header over the Dons goalkeeper into the net. Aberdeen 0, Rangers 2. The Dons all at sea. Rangers celebrate.
It's criminal, isn't it, from Mitov? He's got to be stronger than that. He's looking at the referee to give him protection. But if I could see it again, I think Fernandes goes up and he's just out-jumped him. I don't think Mitov is close enough to the ball. He doesn't get anything on it. There is an arm up, and I'm sure that they'll look at that, and maybe that has put Mitov off. But there's maybe a case for the goalkeeper. But I think he's weak. He's weak in his jump. He almost doesn't, get any purchase. And Fernandes is way above him in terms of making contact with the ball. So I don't think he can complain too much about that, although he's continuing to complain to the referee. They will check it.
They are checking it,
and
right
it's
now,
just that arm. There is an arm that comes up, so that might save him. It just might save him.
Well, we wait to see. David Dickinson is listening to John Beaton. Fernandes is looking at the ball the whole time. Derek Ferguson's in the studio. Derek?
It's leverage. He's Fernandes. There's no intent to, put the keeper off in terms of.
Sorry, Derek. David Dickinson's coming over. Have a look at it.
I'd be very surprised.
Continue.
I'd be very surprised. I think that's a goal. I think it's just a poor decision from a goalkeeper. It comes a hell of a long way. He ain't going to get there, and I just think it's Fernandes. Eyes on the ball, arms up as you do. You use your arms to get leverage, and it's clear header into the back of the net. I tell you what, it'd be very unfortunate if Rangers don't get a goal.
I should have a very quick look at it, referee Dickinson, and he has given the free kick to Aberdeen. Wow. And Mitov gives the referee the thumbs up. But my goodness, he's got away with one there. And what's been a real spell of blunders from the Bulgarian. It stays 1-0 Rangers.
To get out a jail card, Liam, I think he's very fortunate, the keeper. I don't know why he's came there. Fernandes is well above him. I think that should be took into account. I just think it's a poor decision from the keeper. Surprised that's not been given as a goal. We're going too soft.
I think Mitov is weak in his challenge.
Oh, very well.
He's kind of a jump. If you watch his back legs don't give him that purchase to get above Fernandes.
And here come Aberdeen all of a sudden, but the offside flag is up against Carlson, who'd managed to flick it through to Lazetic.
And Fernandes is way above him, absolutely way above him. The only thing that I could see was that Fernandes' hand was out, his arm was out. But you're right. I mean, when you jump, then you've got to use your arms.
Where can you put your arms, Willie?
No, I know.
It's incredible.
I think he's very fortunate. He's very fortunate.
31 on the clock. Aberdeen 0, Rangers 1 then. Very close to being 2. Is Asgard with a header up the edge of the Aberdeen box. Milne clears. Aberdeen have to use that to their advantage. They've got to take some kind of positivity from getting off the hook there.
And I would add to it, why is Mitov away out his goal like that? He's exposed himself. He doesn't have to. There's plenty of red jerseys there. See if he stays in his 6 yard. Even if Fernandes gets a header, he's not going to score from 18 yards, is he?
That was a free kick taken by Tavernier from inside his own half that caused all that consternation for Mitov. It's Knooster for Aberdeen out to Jamfi on the near side, trying to turn away from Tavernier, but he's lost it. Now it's with Gassama. Forward into the midfield for Asgard, back to the centre circle for Diamonde, who nicks it out to Mekhoma on that left-hand side. And infield to Asgard. And now back to Diamonde on the halfway line. It's been all about Rangers here. Aberdeen started okay in the opening 5-10 minutes of the match, but Rangers have been outplaying them since then. much more comfortable. And actually, in fairness to Rangers, they're knocking the ball about pretty well despite the conditions.
They are, yeah. They're keeping it on the ground. They're, getting pockets of space. I think trying to use a long ball at times here is ineffective. If you can keep it on the ground, if you can build up play, great. And I don't think Aberdeen are putting enough pressure on them. To be perfectly honest, I don't see the Aberdeen players want to get in contact energetically enough. And when you're playing against a team that wants to build it up from the back, then you've got to try and have a certain high line, a certain kind of enthusiasm to make contact with your opposing players.
Carlson for Aberdeen, stabbing it forward to Polvara. Now Batias for Carlson, works it out to Nicky Devlin, right hand side of the box. Chance for Devlin, his shot straight at Butland though. He'd 4 or 5 in red jerseys in the middle. He couldn't resist the shot, and it's pretty tame. And it stays Aberdeen 0, Rangers 1 on 33.
It's just too straight, isn't it? I mean, it's good build-up play. Carlson and who was it? It was Polvara, wasn't it? That's building it up there, and then it goes to Nicky Devlin. It's just too straight at the goalkeeper, isn't it? I mean, if he's going to have a strike there, go for the back post. If Butland saves it might come out. He's plenty of red jerseys following up as well, so just bad decision making I felt from Nicky Devlin on that occasion.
1-0 to Rangers here. We've got midweek action coming up on Sportsnet Wednesday. Falkirk Celtic, Hearts St Mirren. Another 2 huge games, and then it's the Scottish Cup taking centre stage next weekend. Rangers getting that underway on Friday night at home to Annan Athletic. Aberdeen will be at home to Wraith Rovers next Sunday as they begin the defence of the trophy. My goodness, the importance of that competition is there for all to see for Aberdeen, given their troubles in the league and more troubles this afternoon. They trail 1-0. Another free kick for Rangers, again on the halfway line, right hand side this time. Tavernier in, this time an Aberdeen defender actually wins the header, and it's Kanuster who gets it out towards Lazetic. Try to play it out to the right hand side for Milanovic. It's cut out though. Now it's Mikey Moore driving forward. Aberdeen attacking like a team with no confidence, and you can understand that. A week on from sacking their manager. The latest manager seemed to be going through the same thing most Januaries since the departure of Dennis McInnes in 2021. Stephen Glass, Jim Goodwin, Barry Robson, Yemi Tulane have all been and gone. Here come Aberdeen with Milanovic. He's been fouled there by Raskan. Free kick right to the centre circle inside the Rangers half. So Milanovic looks to try and get his Aberdeen career going. He seems to be injured there. Liam Shinnie helping him to his feet.
You see him playing to the ball, Milanovic. Don't think he's doing particularly well with the amount of ball that he's had out in that right hand side. You would hope that he would be more productive from an Aberdeen point of view. He hasn't been linking particularly well with any of the other midfield or strikers.
Leighton Clarkson with the free kick into the box. It evades Jack Milne, in fact evaded everyone. And sails behind for a goal kick to the visitors, who continue to lead 1-0 thanks to that opener from Telo Asgard, who grabbed his 4th goal of the season after a well-worked corner. And once again Aberdeen's Achilles heel returning to haunt them. They had solidified things at the back, it seemed, after the change in shape, after leaking goals left, right and centre. That's all come back to bite them now.
Well, it has. You're giving away goals from set pieces and goals that have been chopped off from set pieces as well. So there is a weakness there, the weakness that's got to be resolved. I would say out there the players though they're doing as well as they can.
Shinnie through for Carlson, left hand side of the Rangers box, tries to spin Tavernier. The Rangers captain's having none of it, and he's found Gassama, who jinks away from both Carlson and Shinnie into the midfield. Gassama's ball forward in for Moore's cut out by Devlin. Just over 8 minutes to go in the opening 45. Polvara tries to reverse it forward. It does break to Milanovic. Lazetic chases. Suter gets it away. Devlin back in. Bounces between the 2 feet of Lazetic. It comes right through to Jack Butland. And it's been a real problem for Aberdeen. They've tried to rotate Lazetic and Nisbet, neither of them to any great success. Lazetic has scored 4, Nisbet just the 2. Lazetic's goals, 3 of them have come in the 2 matches against St Mirren. The other was a late consolation against Hibs. It's a real problem area for Aberdeen.
Absolutely, Liam. I've commented on it a number of times, but the other issue as well is that Aberdeen don't create enough opportunities for you know, whichever striker's playing. I don't think they have done enough, you know, Lazetic on this, but I don't feel that the midfield have created, particularly, you know, in the wide area. And we're seeing that again, you know, this afternoon, early evening with Milanovic. The amount of ball that he's had out there. And what danger has he caused? Virtually no danger. You know, it's not good enough. And down the other side, Carlson has been non-existent.
Tavernier with a free kick clipped into the box. Rascan's flick comes bouncing off Shinnie, breaks back to Rascan though. Right hand side of the Aberdeen box, rolling it back there to Diamonde. Spins away from Clarkson, not once but twice, and then it breaks back to Tavernier, and Mitov has caught that effort from Tavernier, and he's to palm it over his crossbar. And he wasn't expecting it, going by his reaction, and he's managed to get it over the bar, and it will be a Rangers corner. It will stay 1-0 to the visitors.
Pulls the trigger really quickly, James Tavernier. That's a brilliant strike from the full-back, and you're right, I think it's taken Mitov by surprise. It does react well to it, he manages to get, you know, good strong hands on it, but fabulous strike from Tavernier.
Well, Rangers will fancy scoring again here because they have a corner. Can Aberdeen defend this one? Taylor Asgard scored from the last one they had on this near side, albeit it was a short worked corner on that occasion. And Aberdeen were still defending it as if it was the set piece being taken. Everyone back in red. It's Mekhoma, in it comes. Mitov holds on this time at his back post, under pressure from Moore, and it stays Aberdeen 0, Rangers 1.
Better that time from Mitov, you know, showing his strength as well, you know, shrugging off players, and a fine pair of safe hands at the back post.
Here's Jamfi for Aberdeen on this near side. Rolls it infield to Shinnie. Shinnie turns away from Ascar and rolls it back to the edge of his own box for Canuster. Forward to Polvara, and back to Milne at the edge of the penalty area. Side football out to Devlin on the right hand side. Back to Jack Milne. It's with Canuster. Takes over possession, rolls it up to the halfway line for Lazetic, who's it nicked off him easily by Rascan. Now it's with Gassama. Gassama looking to push it forward. It's cut out though by Clarkson. He's going and a hit ahead of him, Leighton Clarkson is to roll it to his right for Shinnie. Takes it across the halfway line. Diamonde for company. Shinnie's managed to pop it through to Lazetic. He rolls it back to Devlin. He did have Milanovic ahead of him in a decent position. It's Leighton Clarkson instead now. Little clipped ball down the right hand side, a brilliant ball. Devlin pulls it back across, breaks to Polvara as it come off Mekhoma. Back to Shinnie, now Lazetic trying to get it on his left, but Carlson's a weak effort, easily held on to by Butland, and it stays Aberdeen 0, Rangers 1 into the final 5 minutes of the opening 45.
Yeah, he's got to do better, Carlson. I mean, it's good work down the right hand side, and eventually, you know, when Lazetic can't get the shot off, it falls to Carlson, and you know, from that position I think he can take a touch as well, but he doesn't make good contact. It's straight at Butland. The chance is gone, but at least it's a shot on target, and Aberdeen making inroads to try and cause the Rangers a problem or two.
It's Mats Canuster for Aberdeen at walking pace on this left hand side. Out to the touchline for Jamfi. Steps away from Gassama, rolls it back to Clarkson. Out to Polvara with the right foot. Polvara's got some space to run into here away from Gassama up towards the edge of the Rangers box. Good play from Polvara. Couldn't find Carlson though, blocked by Tavernier, and Rangers clear. Again, the final third, Aberdeen look utterly toothless. Here is Canuster to Jamfi on this left hand side. Outside of the boot, and he gets it hopelessly wrong, and knocks it out for a throw in down by the corner flag. Carlson stands hands and hips and says, what am I expected to do with that?
Yes, indeed, it's got to be better, it's got to be more precise. You know, the players, Aberdeen players, have got to be more confident, but you know, they're making little inroads into this game. I wouldn't say they've taken control of it, that's for sure, but it's been better perhaps in the last 5 minutes than it's been for most of this first half.
Well, last month's win over Kilmarnock's their only one in their last 8 for Aberdeen, as Suter sees it behind for a goal kick under pressure from Lazetic. Is there an argument to say that given this one striker that Aberdeen have played all season hasn't worked? I mean, there is an incredible sample size of proof that it's not working for them. Do you put two up there, Lazetic and Nisbet? We know Nisbet works better in a two. You're hemorrhaging points anyway.
Yeah, it's a possibility. You know, Peter Leven's got to make that decision. What I would say is that any time I've watched both of these players that you've just mentioned, Lazetic and Nisbet, they haven't done nearly enough, even though there's only one player up there. They've got to be better at holding the ball up. There was an incident not just a few minutes ago where, you know, it's so easily taken off of them when it's played up to them. So, you know, Aberdeen not being able to start attacks through the main striker. So they can't even build up anything to try to get in behind opposition and get crosses across the face. Now, you play two up, you've got more chance of finding, you know, either of the striker, but I don't see Peter leaving. He might do it in the second half. Most teams nowadays are playing with a one up anyway.
Lazic was on the ground trying desperately to retain possession, unable to do that in the end. Rangers scoop it down the line on the near side. It breaks to Jack Milne, who plays it to his left for Canuster, who goes back to Milne. Well, the only transfer activity at Aberdeen this month so far was the return of Alfie Dorrington to Spurs, cutting his loan short with a disappointing second spell. We've been here in the second half of last season, the Scottish Cup winner. And given there's no manager there, it must be very difficult to make a call on new signings.
There's another example of it. A nicely clipped ball up to Lazic, and John Souttar just shrugged him away. He just swats him away like a fly, doesn't he? And he goes to ground, and, you know, Rangers have got possession again.
Rangers on this near side. Tavernier infield to Raskan. And Raskan driving forward. He's got Asgard to his right, Sharmiti to his left. He's now inside the Aberdeen box, wide right. Asgard blocked by Polvara, and behind for another Rangers corner on this near side. So the visitors look for a second before the break, and they did find that second before the break at Ibrox on Tuesday, as they look to get back to within 3 points of Hearts, albeit they'll have played a game more. When it's more points on the board if they can find them, and they're in a good position to do so. We're in the final minute of the 45. And McHoma and Tavernier are over it down on this near side. The Rangers right as they attack the goal to the right. And this has been the case for all their corners in this first half. These two have been over them. McHoma looks favourite. Will it come short to Tavernier? Let's see. It's going to go straight into the box. McHoma, and it comes. Mitov is being held there. It's nodded half away. Now it's Diamonde who lashes it over the crossbar, and it will stay Aberdeen 0, Rangers 1. And we are about to go into the first minute of stoppage time, and it will be 3 minutes added as Clarkson finds Gyamfi on this near side. Under pressure from Gassama, fouled by Gassama, says referee Dickinson. Free kick on this near side for Aberdeen. It's been a little bit better from the home team in the last 10 minutes or so, but unconvincing.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You know, but the conditions out there are just dreadful. They're dreadful for both teams, and certainly Rangers have dealt with the conditions far better than Aberdeen. You know, but it's a horrible night, isn't it? The rain coming down, the wind, you know, making it really difficult to judge your passes or control the ball. So in a way, I think they're doing, you know, the conditions are kind of curtailing the quality that we're watching out there.
As well as they can do. It is Aberdeen with Clarkson on the halfway line on the right hand side of the centre circle. His ball forward straight to McHoma though, and now it's with Moore dancing away from Milanovic and slipping it to the right of the centre circle in the Aberdeen half for Raskan, who clips it forward towards the edge of the box looking for Sharmiti, who wins the header. Couldn't quite find Asgard's, away by Milne. Then Shinnie turns it infield to Milanovic. Long ball, more in hope than anything else. Lazic gives chase, Souttar heads away. Breaks out to McHoma on the far side. Infield to Diamonde, and out to McHoma, given away straight to Devlin. Shinnie takes it down on the far side, gets it to Polvara. It's broken towards Carlson, cut out by Tavernier though. Canuster on the halfway line with a long high ball forward. It's Fernandes up in the air. It's not a great header from Fernandes, but he gets it the second attempt. Then Gassama is fouled by Gyamfi, who pushes him to the ground, and Rangers have a free kick. Rangers have a 1-0 lead, and we're just about to go into the third and final minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half at Pittodrie.
Yeah, I think the scoreline's a bit right as we go to half-time. I think Rangers have more or less dominated possession and created a number of opportunities. Obviously got the goal, and the one that was chopped off as well, where Aberdeen have really, you know, as Tom English would say, huffed and puffed again. That's a phrase that he was using consistently, and you can understand why he uses that phrase, because they look as though they've got a bit of energy out there, but nothing actually happens from that energy, they can't turn that energy into opportunities.
Well, Rangers looking to get in behind for a second before the interval here. It's Aberdeen making the block, Milanovic with the clearance up to the halfway line, where Fernandez gets onto it, steps away from Lazetic. The challenge there from Devlin on Moore puts it out for a Rangers throw in over on the far side. Now, Aberdeen, you would think the bottom two are struggling to the point that it's going to be very difficult for them to even get back to St Mirren in the Premiership. You're looking at a few clubs there, Aberdeen, Dundee United in danger of this, of ending up in the land of nothingness in the Premiership this season as the half-time whistle goes here, and that's because the Dons are losing again. Rangers know they must win this match, and win it they are at the midway point. Telo Asgard with the only goal of the game after the short corner was worked into the box. Aberdeen's Achilles heel it has been over the course of the last few weeks, and Asgard was there to knock it home. A really smart finish past Dimitar Mitov, who's the luckiest man in Pittodrie, I think, because Fernandez looped a header over him from a straightforward long James Tavernier free kick from the halfway line into the box. It came. Mitov decided to scramble away from his goal line, try to get onto it, got nothing on the ball. Plenty of Fernandez, he looped a header over the bar, but it was adjudged to have been a foul by the Rangers defender, who thought he doubled the Ibrox side's lead and made things a lot more comfortable. Aberdeen have threatened not terribly often, but Leighton Clarkson did test Jack Butland with an excellent effort towards the bottom right corner, which the Rangers keeper was at full stretch to get rid of and put it behind for the corner. But Rangers with a deserved lead here at Pittodrie at half-time, where the scoreline is Aberdeen 0, Rangers 1.
On digital radio,
online at BBC Sport Scotland,
on BBC Sounds,
or ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Scotland Extra.
This is Sports Sound
from BBC Radio Scotland.
The Scottish Cup continues. Home of every dream.
Home of Auchinleck Talbot.
Celtic cannot believe it.
To me, coming back.
Home of every comeback.
Genuine privilege to have come back.
Listen to those fans.
Holders Aberdeen hosting Wraith Rovers.
The Scottish Cup is an altogether different beast. Home of every opportunity. You are witness to a moment of Scottish sporting history. Sports Sound brings you the fourth round of the Scottish Cup, live next weekend. Listen on digital radio or ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Scotland.
What a weekend it is going to be. Full coverage right across all the action here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland, where we're currently midway through the second of our commentaries for this afternoon. Already a really important, you feel, victory for Hearts. 1-0 winners at Dens Park against Dundee. Claudio Braga with a goal. But Alexander Schwolow sent off just before half-time. Craig Gordon on as his replacement. And he pulled off just the most magnificent save you will ever see, deep into stoppage time, to ensure that Derek McInnes and his team headed back down the road with another 3 points in their title bid. Rangers hoping to do likewise. They're in front at half-time thanks to a Telo Asgard goal. Got to say, Derek Ferguson certainly worthy of the advantage at the break.
Yes, Richard, they're pretty comfortable in the game. Aberdeen not caused them too many problems. There have been a couple of efforts that Butland's had to deal with excuse me, and dealt with pretty comfortably. In the middle of the park, I think Diamandi and Raskin, are doing a beavering about, a lot of hard work, in unsavoury conditions, and then ahead of them with Ashgard, Moore, Gassama and Shermiti, there is a threat there, but the goal does come from a set piece, and that's the third, in 2 games. Aberdeen, you think they would have learned their lesson, but they certainly have not, and it was pretty simple, wasn't it? A short corner kick, left-hand side, and it's just whipped centrally, and Ashgard just comes off his marker. It's a beautiful finish. He just guides it into the back of the net to go 1-0 up, and then another set piece wide in the left. It's a ball sent in. Richard, I don't know what your take is on it. As soon as I watched it, I'm thinking, right. I look at Fernandez. He's already there. He's already up in the air, so he's in that airspace, and when you jump, you use your arms, and it's Mitov who is there's no need to come 12 yards off your line. He comes in to Fernandez airspace. He goes up with his arms, he's nowhere near it. Fernandez he's towering above him, and the ball just loops into the back of the net. And I'm really surprised that the referee goes to the monitor. I actually thought when he went to the monitor, Richard, that he'd have went, yeah, I'm going to deem that as a goal. But I was really surprised that he chopped it off. But yeah, they've been pretty comfortable. The conditions are horrendous, we all know that at the moment. But I think Rangers have dealt with it pretty comfortably so far.
Yeah, I noticed just at half-time there that Dimitar Mitov raced across to the referee, David Dickinson. I'm assuming it was to thank him for the decision that he made. Like, do you know what? If the referee has allowed the goal, I don't think you could hugely complain about it. But the one thing I would say is that Fernandez certainly has his arm up. It does connect with Mitov. It does move Mitov's arm, and therefore that's the goalkeeper's claim. I would be doubtful, Derek, as to whether Mitov was going to get to it, whether he was molested or not.
And that's what I'm trying to say. Richard, Mitov goes towards Fernandez. Fernandez is already there. Mitov, don't know why he comes off his line. There's no need. There's plenty of Aberdeen defenders there. Is he going to get a clean header? I don't think so, but he decides to come. That's what I'm trying to say. He's already in that airspace. He's up, he's off the ground. You could argue that Fernandez is, when he's up with his arms are coming down as he's coming down, and he just gets his head on it. I actually thought that the common sense would prevail, and the referee would say, "Yeah, I'm going to give that as a goal." But
I mean, I think Mitov, he either had to come more decisively and go for it, or he just had to stay in it. He stays in the line. There's no issue at all. And I mean, I don't know.
What do you do with your arms when you jump? Where do they go? We know with cross balls, you see players now, they put their hands behind their back. So where does your arms go when you jump for the ball? I'm confused.com.
Yeah, I mean, you're certainly not getting the height if you've got your arms behind your back, that's for sure. But it is, it's another, I mean, I touched on this just before we handed over to the commentary. Mitov, the mistakes he's been making, he's certainly got off with one there. He's made a couple of decent enough saves. Like, he does make saves, Mitov, but he always, you feel, right now, he's an accident waiting to happen at times. Just watching another replay of it, Derek, and
decision making, isn't it? And you think even the defenders would be having a word with them and saying, listen, if it's coming into that area 12, 13, 14 yards from goal, don't come, we'll deal with it, you know. But you know, he comes and he's getting nowhere near it.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's no question that Fernandez' right forearm impedes the left arm of Mitov.
Yeah.
But as I say, I mean, the question would be, was Mitov going to get that ball? Maybe the referee doesn't actually have to take that into account. He just simply has to take into account, was there contact? Did it impede the goalkeeper? Yes, it did.
And it's a contact sport, Richard.
Yeah.
Isn't it? You know,
yeah, but there are some contacts that aren't allowed, to be fair.
Well, keepers, but we know that they're a protected species, but come on. You know, that I think that's when I thought the referee might have went, no, he's made a mistake, he ain't going to get there, I'm going to give that as a goal. But
yeah, well, as I say, I think if the referee has given that goal, then I'm not sure it's one you could hugely complain about. I think Aberdeen have been fortunate that the decision has gone their way. I mean, I see in the BBC website, the stats show that Aberdeen have had 56.5% of possession and Rangers just 43.5, which
they started pretty well, Aberdeen, you know, in the first 10 minutes. Certainly a lot better than they did at Ibrox the other night. But slowly but surely, Rangers just gradually started to get a grip of the game. And you're listening to Liam and Willie, they do look a little bit light up top, toothless. So and that's why, you know, Rangers normally give up chances in games defensively, but they've looked unusual for them, pretty solid tonight.
Well, it does help, I guess, when you're up against an Aberdeen team that went 6 games without scoring at the start of the season. Are currently on a run of 3.5 games without scoring in the league, and as Liam and Willie were touching on, I mean, the goal scoring record this season is terrible. It's 20 goals in 21 league matches. Only Dundee, St Mirren and Kilmarnock, well, no, only Dundee and Kilmarnock, excuse me, I'll try again. Dundee and St Mirren have scored fewer Kilmarnock have also scored 20 and Livingston 21. So I mean, it's why they're down in that half of the table, because they simply cannot score goals. The defensive record's decent enough, but they have to find in some way, shape or form an answer. And of course, what they are now going to have to try to do, Derek, is find that answer against a team that's even more confident 45 minutes into this one than they have been off the back of 4 straight wins.
Yep, and I think it's a Rangers side that have got the bit between their teeth. They're actually, you talk about that confidence, that comes with winning games, and Rangers have struggled in some games. I've been watching them, but they've found a way, just to get through it, get the full 3 points, and all that does is gives you confidence. So they've not had a period in this game so far, I'm saying so far, Richard, because it might change in the second half, that they've had to suffer. As I say, they've been pretty comfortable. And I would expect, no matter how well or how poorly an Aberdeen side have been, that you'd expect them to have a good part of the game, a good chunk of the game where they're going to put Rangers under pressure. So there still might need to be a bit of defending for Rangers to do, but that's Aberdeen. They've got to find something. The manager who's in there, Pittodrie, he's got to, I don't know, just somehow give them that confidence, let them off the leash a little bit, but they've not caused Rangers too much trouble tonight.
No, they haven't. Willie, you're sitting there alongside Liam. It's an all too familiar story in that respect for Aberdeen, isn't it?
It is, Richard. It's been a real struggle in creating opportunities. It's been a real struggle in finding the back of the net. It's been just depressing in terms of looking at the strikers and what they actually do in the game. I'm watching Lazetic, and just maybe he's managed to hold up one, perhaps two in that first half, but there's maybe been a good 6 or 8 times where he's been asked just to try and link the play, get the ball up to him, hold it in and bring your teammates in, and it just doesn't happen. He just gives away possession to Rangers, then Rangers are on the attack again, and Kevin Nisbet is pretty much the same whenever I watch him and see him playing as well, and it's got to the stage now with Kevin. I think he prefers playing the number 10. There has been times when Jimmy Tillene has put 2 strikers on, it'd be Lazetic up top and Nisbet playing off him. He looks more comfortable in that position. Whether we'll see that tonight, is another question. Time will tell. But you need your striker to be doing something now. If he's not holding up the ball, he's got to look like a threat in the box. He's got to look as though he's going to get on the end of something. Mind you, there's not much to get on the end of either. No. You're looking at the creativity. I don't know about Carlson, what's happened to him down the left-hand side. He's been very quiet. And Milanovic has had plenty of the ball, but he's done virtually nothing with it. He's not, really managed to get to the byline, put crosses across the face, and in the hope of finding Lazetic. So no, that part of the game, Aberdeen going forward, the creative side is not there, and certainly having a proven goal scorer is certainly not there. Not even a number 9 that looks as though they're in the right. I can't. Look back in games and say, well, if only it had came from the wide area to the striker. I can't even, remember too many occasions where the striker has been in a position where you're thinking he should have, the winger should have done better, should have picked him out, etc., etc. So it's depressing from an Aberdeen point of view. Not doing, they're not nearly a big enough threat. And for me, Carlson looked the one that was going to be the threat early in the season, but in recent weeks he's just disappeared. He doesn't seem to have the same energy, the same drive, and the same confidence that he had, in the early part of the season. So it's a problem. It's a problem for Pittodrie, and it's a problem for the club. And something's got to be done about it, whether it's in this window or whether it's in the summer. They've got to try and find the new Majowski, should I say?
Yes. Well, yeah.
I can see it.
You can hope, Willie. From Rangers' point of view, Derek, they'll surely be keen just to get that second goal as quickly as possible, because despite the fact they've looked by far the better team, one can be a bit of a dodgy lead at times. Yeah,
always. You always like a second goal. You like a little bit of a cushion, but I think the players are kind of in the know that it's not an easy venue to come and get a win. So they need to go the full 90 plus minutes. You know, they need to be concentrated, they need to be switched on, and if they can get that second goal, it'd be great. But you know, you just look at the game earlier today. You know, a 10-man Hearts side, a 1-goal lead at half time. They had to fight, bite, scratch, defend their box brilliantly, and they did it ever so well. So that might be the kind of what Rangers need to do in the second half. So who knows? But the conditions as the players are running out, they look terrible. But yeah, Rangers are pretty comfortable. But you know, you just never know in this game. And as I see Nisbet's maybe coming on. There's your wish two up top. I think Liam was talking about it, wasn't he?
Well, we'll find out if they can make any inroads into that Rangers defence. It's Lazatic off, I gather, and Nisbet on. Sports scene tonight, 7:15 BBC Scotland channel with all the highlights. We're on until 7, so you'll have time to make yourself a cup of tea and then settle down and watch all the action from the two games. Do look out for that magnificent save by Craig Gordon in Heart of Midlothian's 1-0 win at Dens. What will happen in the second 45 here at Pittodrie? You're about to find out. Full live commentary here on Sports and BBC Radio Scotland with your commentary team of Willie Miller and Liam McLeod.
You're getting on for 4 decades since Aberdeen last won this fixture when conceding the first goal. So it's odds on that they don't turn this around, but they're going to send on Kevin Nisbet, as you heard from Derek and Richard there, and it is Lazatic who's coming off, so it's just a like-for-like change. Nisbet going through the middle. Just the 2 goals this season. He was much better in the second half of last term, so to be hoping that that's the case this time around as well. Rangers go as you were. Same team that started the match, and they're going to kick off going from right to left in howling conditions here at Pittodrie. And Nicholas Raskan rolls it all the way back to Jack Butland. So for Aberdeen, Mitov in goal, Polvara, Milne, Canuster, Devlin, Giamfi, Clarkson, Shinnie, Milanovic, Carlson and Nisbet. For Rangers, it's Butland in goal, Tavernier, Suter, Fernandez, Meghoma, Diamonde, Asgard, Raskan, Gassama, Moore and Chermiti. Aberdeen on the ball on the left-hand side, trailing 1-0. Can they get something out of this match? I think the Hearts and indeed Celtic supporters will be hoping so. As Aberdeen pick up on the left-hand side of their defence, Canuster in field to Milne, fires it forward, it bounces off Nisbet, but it goes to Raskan, who comes forward, goes down, fouled by Nisbet, free kick, goes Rangers' way, and it's on a day like this, if you're going to hit it, you just never know where it's going to end up. It's about 25, 30 yards from goal, but they'll fancy somebody having a pop at this as Nisbet pushed out at Raskan.
Yeah, I mean, it is a free kick, there's no doubt about that. You know, the ball's played up to Kevin Nisbet and it just comes right back, and Raskan is then running on top of the Aberdeen defence, and Nisbet brings him down. You know, the change is made, but things have not changed.
Tavernier over this. I think the wind's, it's one of those days where it's swirling in every single direction possible, so I'm not sure if this is going to aid Tavernier or not. Meghoma's there too. It's Tavernier, it's a delicate chip ball into the box. Raskan takes it down on the hip and is forced wide right of the box. Rangers still have plenty up. It's back with Tavernier, where he's smashed it high into the Richard Donald stand. And it will be a goal kick to Aberdeen, who in the red go left to right in the second half. Rangers in their black and grey change colours. And it's a goal kick which Mitov isn't taking. He's left it to Canuster, but he plays it short to Mitov along his 6-yard box. And then to Milne, takes it out of his defence and up here to this near side for Devlin. The line to Milanovic and then back to Devlin. Milanovic loses it, and it's Moore, picks up for Rangers facing his own goal. He turns it back to Jack Butland. First couple of minutes of the second half have come and gone. Still 1-0 to Rangers. Long ball forward towards Chermiti, one in the air by Milne, but it breaks to the goal scorer Asgard, who turns away from Shinnie. It's away from Clarkson, passes it back to Raskan, now to Diamonde, flips it with the left foot, looking for Moore down by the corner flag. He's not going to get there. Then it goes out of play for an Aberdeen throw-in right down by the tunnel, and corner flag off to our left.
They just can't be constructive, Aberdeen. They can't get themselves out their own half. You know, they keep constantly giving balls away. They play in tight areas, and it looks as though they're not capable of, you know, building up from these tight areas. They've certainly not got that that focal point up top, Kevin Nisbet giving the ball away early in the second half, just in the same way that Lazetic did all the first half. So it's if they keep playing like this, it's going to be a long night, and if Rangers did manage to get the second goal, then you would fear for Aberdeen.
I mean, that Scottish Cup win in May is a huge outlier when it comes to what's been going on here the last 5 years, but Polvara's won it back. Now it's Nisbet, Milanovic in the box, poor touch, and McHoma's able to get it away up towards Moore, loses out to Devlin. Devlin now driving up towards the Rangers box, a chip ball in, but it sails over the bar. It is better from Aberdeen, a bit more purpose about them, and it was a good little bit of play by Kevin Nisbet, good link-up play, but it all comes to nothing, and it stays Aberdeen 0, Rangers 1, almost on 49.
Yeah, and Nicky Devlin doing really well against Moore, winning possession back there, doing what Rangers have done to Aberdeen for the majority of this match, and the disappointing aspect again was when he got into a decent position, he's not been able to produce.
Shermiti for Rangers, first time ball out wide right, looking for Tavernier. Jamfi slides in and wins it back for Aberdeen. He finds Clarkson, back to Jamfi on the far side. Clarkson then again stabs it forward to Polvara, under pressure from Gassama. Out to Clarkson, sweeps it down the left-hand touchline. Carson's ball's dreadful, goes straight to Suter, who knocks it forward. Moore's got the touch there. The Aberdeen fans think he used an arm. He's managed to find Diamonde, who gets it back from McHoma, rolls it back to Fernandez, and then forward to Raskan, then back to Fernandez again. Side foot ball forward to Moore, back to Nikola Raskan on the halfway line, works it out wide right to Tavernier, down the line for Gassama, steps away from Jamfi, finds Asgard, little back heel. Gassama looks to work it through, blocked by Mill, might pinball back in Rangers' favour here. Milnes to knock it half away under pressure from Moore. Moore keeps it alive wide right of the box and finds Asgard, level with the penalty spot. In front of the Rangers supporters, bunched in the away section of the south stand, over on that far side. Asgard in field to Diamonde. Back to Asgard, throws himself to the ground, fouled by Carlson, he's the referee, and a free kick to Rangers in a similar position to the one that Tavernier had earlier on, just a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, Carlson again, a little bit impetuous there. He throws out his right boot, and there's two hands, on the back of the Rangers player as well. So I don't think he can have any complaints. But it's another free kick, and what Rangers will be looking at is a tasty situation. Somewhat, maybe 25, maybe a little bit further out to right-hand side, and Aberdeen needing to concentrate, that's for sure, and Rangers looking for movement or some magic off the training field.
Tavernier, right-footed free kick, free header again, wide from Raskan with a goal right in front of him. Aberdeen cannot defend, they just can't defend, and Rangers should be two up there to Nikola Raskan.
Raskan should do much better. It's just a little clip. I think he's onside. It gets too much power on it, but Aberdeen not picking up, man. I'm not sure. I think it's like a zonal situation that they just pick up areas. But when a man comes into your area, you're supposed to pick him up if you're playing that way. Otherwise, just try to get man for man.
There's Asgard, the edge of the box, rolls it to Gassama on the right foot. This shot's blocked by Knudsen and behind for a Rangers corner. Rangers look hungry for the second goal here. It is a zonal system Aberdeen are using, but you would think, given it hasn't worked for weeks and weeks and weeks now, why would you continue to do it? It's the definition of madness.
Yeah, and another opportunity for Rangers. Gassama, on that occasion there, Knudsen having a really good block, identifying the danger and making his body big, but giving away another corner kick that has to be defended.
A lot more empty red seats than we normally see for visits to Rangers these days. The crowds here at Pittodrie have been excellent over the course of the last few years under the Dave Cormack stewardship. That is one massive positive that there has been alongside the cup, when the attendances have gone up. I can't remember them ever being so consistently good with regards to full houses, and it's not a full house, it's pretty close to it.
No,
most weeks. Even your team didn't get that.
No, fabulous, absolutely. The red shed coming into play as well, and that's pretty healthy, and it has been healthy throughout the season and in seasons past. So no, Dave Corman gets a lot of praise for the work that he's done commercially. Absolutely.
Rangers waiting to take this corner. They're struggling to spot the ball up. Knudsen's gone down inside his own box here. as he waits to defend it. John Souttar has been summoned by David Dickinson. So it was obviously he was involved with Knooster there as they tangled, and I think Souttar's going to be booked in the wake of that. The corner hadn't been taken, but Knooster's been yellow carded. Well, it's gone against the Aberdeen defender.
I think both of them, is it not?
I think they've both been booked in the end. Well, that's just the usual from the referee.
Yeah.
It will be McHoma and Tavernier again on the far side. This time it's McHoma, puts it in, comes all the way through, comes off the... Did it come off the boot of Milne? I think it did. It'll be a Rangers throw-in. It was Polvara, came off last. It looked like it came off Polvara. It's going out for a Rangers throw-in level with the Aberdeen 18-yard line on this near side. So Knooster and Souttar both yellow carded. It's confirmation of that. 1-0 Rangers, 54 minutes almost played. And the visitors have a throw-in on this near side to be taken by Tavernier. To say level with the 18-yard line, bowls it into the Aberdeen box, headed away by Nisbet. Back in by Tavernier, it sails over the head of Devlin, who left it, thinking it was going behind for the goal kick, which it does. Well, he's a little bit fortunate because Raskam's very close to getting on, keeping it in play. Goal kick Aberdeen, 1-0 to Rangers. Mitov will take the goal kick. Well, it's just a week on from the manager losing his job here at Pittodrie, but you kind of feel that they need to get someone in pretty quickly because they look a little bit directionless right now, and you feel a new manager has to come in and get the time to work with the players. And Aberdeen, though the board don't seem in a massive hurry, they'd like to do it swiftly, but I'm not sure that that's how it's going to pan out. We shall see as Rangers pick up with Diamonde out to Moore on this left-hand side. And midway inside the Aberdeen half, Moore rolls it into Asgard, back to Raskan. Takes it out to this left-hand touchline forward to Moore, and field to Diamonde. Just didn't quite work out for Rangers, and Milne clears. Carlson tries to help it on its way, but gives it away. He's very seldom looked like a £10 million player since he arrived at Pittodrie in the summer, and the only reason he came here was because of Jimmy Tallinn, who's no longer at the club. And he stays beyond January, we shall find out. Here come Rangers. Souttar sweeps it out wide left for Raskan. Level with the edge of the D of the Aberdeen box. Skips in field. Right foot crossball comes in all the way through to Mitov, who holds on. And it stays on 55 minutes. Aberdeen 0, Rangers 1.
Well, again, even more so probably in the second half. Rangers dominating possession. Aberdeen find it extremely difficult to get themselves out. I think the wind is definitely against them, but at the same time constantly giving possession away and making it oh so easy for Rangers.
And it's Moore, level with the Aberdeen penalty spot on the left-hand side. Back to Diamonde, out to McHoma, then back to Diamonde again. Side football back into the centre circle for Raskan. We'll then turn it out to JD Gassama wide on the right, skips away from Jamfi. Little heavy touch, and he's given it away to Polvara. He's only got Nisbet ahead of him. Others arriving. Polvara steers himself away from Diamonde up to the edge of the Rangers box. Rear foray forward, but he's overhit his cross. Way over the head of Nisbet, and out for a Rangers throw-in on this near side. Yeah, Aberdeen change. Keskinen's coming on for Carlson. No surprises there.
It's no surprise. I mean, he's been non-existent in the game. Jesper Karlsson, a player with talent, and certainly talent going forward, that's for sure, but has not shown it at all. So I don't think anybody in the stadium will be surprised at that change when Keskinen comes on for Karlsson.
I think there was a real excitement when he signed, actually, on deadline day. Many people who watch Jesper Karlsson, particularly in his native Sweden, were astonished that he came here. You can see where his career is right now, going by his performances in red. And there's Shinnie looking for Polvara, and good challenge in there by Fernandez. Souttar gets it away up towards the halfway line. Milne takes it away from Knooster. His header goes back to Mitov, is to come to the midway point of his own half to get onto it. Back to Mitov, knocks it forward to Clarkson, given away. Mitov's off his line. He slipped as well as Sharmiti tries to shoot, and it's blocked. Comic cuts from Aberdeen. Here's Raskan, right to the right-hand side for Gassama. Tavernier on the underlap. It is Gassama spinning away from Jamfi. Keskinen with the challenge. Jamfi goes in. Has he fouled him? No, says the referee. The Rangers supporters right in front of them think that's a free kick to their side, but Aberdeen have given it away again in any case. It's Tavernier, forward to Diamonde. Spins away from Polvara, shoots, blocked by Milne. Shinnie wins it back for Aberdeen, forward towards Kevin Nisbet. Just outside the centre circle, delayed way too long. His pass goes straight to Fernandez. And then eventually Aberdeen are going to get a free kick here. It's Aberdeen 0, Rangers 1, and this is a free kick midway inside their own half. Central position.
Yeah, they just can't keep possession, Aberdeen.
Yellow as well for Asgard, I think. Or was it Chermiti?
I think it's Asgard. It's Asgard, isn't it? Listen.
Not much in that, is there?
No, I can't understand why referees. Your arms got to be up. You're reaching for the ball. You need that purchase. You need to use your arms to get up in there. And it's just a ridiculous booking from the referee in Asgard. But Aberdeen just can't keep possession. Listen, the conditions are absolutely deplorable. We know that. But Rangers seem to manage to keep possession. On the other half, Aberdeen really struggling and constantly giving it away in their own half.
Yeah, I mean, the conditions are terrible, but they've been unable to keep the ball when the conditions have been good in recent weeks. As Tavernier knocks it forward, Chermiti with a little downward cushion header there to Gassama wide in the right-hand touchline. In front of the visiting support, he goes through the gears, turns it back to the right angle of the box, but Jampi's there for Aberdeen to win it back, gets it through to Shinnie. Shinnie looks to work it to Keskinen, he's on it now. Keskinen driving across the halfway line. Nisbet ahead of him, Topi Keskinen up against Suter, makes the challenge, it's gone behind, it's an Aberdeen corner. Bit of positivity, and it comes from Topi Keskinen. We're just about the hour mark, Rangers leading 1-0 in front of a crowd of 18,151.
Yeah, I mean, it is good from Keskinen, but that's the best part of his game, Liam. He picks the ball up in his own half and he gets you up the park. Unfortunately for Topi Keskinen, once he gets up the park, nothing seems to happen. He's won the corner kick, might get something off it, but normally when he gets into that position, the crosses are not good enough.
Clarkson will take, and it comes towards the back post. Chermiti flicks it away, and it's going to go behind for a corner on the other side. This near side this time as Aberdeen attack the Merklin Road end. Off to our right. Still, they haven't scored from a set play this season, and we're almost in mid-January. It's remarkable.
Well, they've got another opportunity. That was a decent delivery into the box there, and it was well defended by Rangers, but difficult to defend with the conditions the way they are.
Clarkson will take, right-footed, and it comes. It's headed behind for another one by Fernandez. And Don's trying to knock on the door here. Once again, the Rangers set-piece coach is out there barking the orders down to our left. As Clarkson takes the corner, swings it in, it's flicked away, and Keskinen goes after it over on the left-hand side. Infield to Milanovic, back towards Keskinen, works the 1-2, Keskinen's cross comes in. It's Clarkson who then volleys it up high into the air, and just about hit the roof of the Merklin. I'm not sure what he was trying to accomplish there, but it will be a goal kick to Rangers, and it will stay 1-0 to Rangers here at Pittodrie.
Yeah, take a touch, I think that would be the advice I would give him on that occasion. He was way off balance, leaning back, letting Clarkson and balloons it well over the bar.
Rangers have it with Butland as he plays it short to his right there for Suter. Suter's gone down. Was he fouled? Yes, he was. He's the referee, but as you can hear from the howls from the home supporters, they do not agree with the decision of David Dickinson. Shinnie with his arms outstretched, protests.
Certainly Graham Shinnie's not agreeing with that one. I don't know if there was much contact here, to be perfectly honest. I think John Suter was going down. Actually before there was any contact, so I feel like Graham Shinnie had a point to put to the referee, but the referee just waving him away.
He knows that kind of incident very well himself.
He does,
isn't he? The Aberdeen captain. He's made a history of that, winning free kicks in that kind of situation. Milanovic for Aberdeen, out wide right Devlin, put Nisbet out on the right hand side, stripped by Chermiti. Yellow card coming for the Rangers, number 9 now. Booking, free kick Aberdeen midway inside Rangers territory. A better period from the home team, but they still trail by a goal to nil on 62 minutes.
Yeah, a little touch there from Chermiti on Nicky Devlin going down, and it gives Aberdeen the opportunity to put Rangers under pressure from a set-piece situation. Graham Shinnie still having a go at the referee, not happy with the John Suter incident where the foul was given against him.
We'll go to the studio and get the second half thoughts of Derek Ferguson shortly. Aberdeen, they've only managed to take 4 points out of 33 available against the current top 6 this season. 3 here against Hearts, 1 against Motherwell, which is also here. As Clarkson takes the free kick into the box, headed away easily there at the edge of the area by Diamonde, and now Gassama's onto it, rides a couple of challenges, and then the block there by Jampi, but it's a foul by an Aberdeen player, and a yellow card coming here for one of them. I'm not sure if it was Shinnie who was getting that one, but anyway, it's going to be a free kick to Rangers as Gassama tried to spring out of defence, and they've managed to have a look at a replay in the studio. They have the benefit of getting the replay a lot quicker than we do, Willie, and Leighton Clarkson's been shouted in my ear twice now.
Yes.
So it was Clarkson
it was
who was
him.
booked,
Yeah.
just to confirm.
Yeah, it was him.
John Suter with a long free kick from the halfway line. Out to the left, Mikhoma, first time into the Aberdeen box for Moore. Devlin comes and wins it off him. He's done well there, Nicky Devlin. Shifts it to his right for Milanovic. Under pressure from Diamonde, gets it back to Clarkson, and infield to Polvara. To Clarkson again, and it's a big switch out to Jampy. It's a good ball by Clarkson. He's been by far from Aberdeen's worst player today. Shinnie on the halfway line. Probably expect to see a lot more of Clarkson between now and season's end. As Jack Milne plays it to his right for Devlin. The wind continuing to rattle through Pittodrie, the rain driving down as well. Bitterly cold early evening here in the Granite City. Rangers with a 1-0 lead. Aberdeen with the ball. It's Polvara out to Milanovic. Down the line it goes to Nisbet. A little bit of space. 0 in red in the middle though. So Nisbet has to turn back the way. Finds Devlin. Shinnie to Milanovic on the near side. Does he try and have a go at Mikhoma? Well, he did, but he's failed miserably. And it's away by Mikhoma up towards Sharmiti. The challenge from Milne. Shinnie as well. And then Asgard gets onto it. Gets away from Milne and pops it forward to Gassama. It bounces off his back. It's frustrating for him. Jampy does well to win it back. The Rangers fans think their man was fouled. Aberdeen have it on the left-hand side with Clarkson. Short ball to Jampy on the touchline. Back it goes to Clarkson. On the halfway line, just moving into the Rangers half. Long ball looking for Polvara. It's cut out there by Fernandez easily though. Now it's with Diamonde. Nicked it to his left for Moore. Moore's away from Shinnie. He's got Sharmiti ahead of him. Moore driving up the edge of the box. Now he releases Sharmiti. Blocked there before it got to Mitov. It's Milne with an excellent bit of defending. It looked all the way. 2-0 Rangers. It stays at 1 after 65 minutes. But that was the chance to probably kill the game.
It was, yeah. It was a big opportunity, but great defending. You know, Sharmiti getting himself free down the left-hand side. He's looking to, you know, find the far corner. You know, maybe he needs to put more power on it.
It was Mitov actually made the save. Rather, I thought it looked like from an angle it was Milne. We've seen a replay of it. It was a save by Mitov. Made the save with his left leg.
Milne coming in though, he's putting the challenge just in front. You know, Sharmiti's got to pull the trigger then, but it's low and it's at the goalkeeper. You know, it comes off his leg. It's a big chance for Rangers, but not taken.
No, it's not been too many opportunities of note in the second half. Rangers continue to lead this match thanks to Taylor Asgard's goal on 23 minutes. That's where the match has been since then. And it's Aberdeen losing out on the far side. Rangers on this is really excellent away run, just the one away defeat in the league since Boxing Day 2024. It was quite recently in that one in Edinburgh against Hearts, but generally speaking they've been picking up the results on the road, most recently at Celtic Park last Saturday. And Suter plays it out to that right hand side. Aberdeen staring at a 4th defeat in a row for the 2nd time this season. That long Rangers ball down their right hand side as they attack the beach end is put out by Canuster, but goes out of play for a Rangers throw in midway inside Aberdeen territory over on the far side. There's another change coming. Stuart Armstrong is going to replace Clarkson, and Kenan Bilalovic is going to come on as well, the young forward from Sweden. He's going to replace Milanovic, or Armstrong is rather. Bilalovic will come on to, in fact they put the number up twice there for Armstrong, so it's Bilalovic on for Milanovic and Armstrong for Clarkson. Let's get thoughts of Derek Ferguson. How's he seeing this game?
It's been a good period, Liam. Last 5-10 minutes for Aberdeen, but you know, that was brilliant play from young Moore, driving forward and playing in Sharmiti. He's got to do better. I know the conditions are terrible, but he's just got to lift it. You know, he's 1v1 with the keeper. If that ball goes into the back of the net, that's it, it's game done. But you know, as long as it's 1-0, Aberdeen still in with a chance, and you know, you can see there's signs that they're starting to believe in themselves, but you know, they need to create a little bit more in that final third if they're going to have that opportunity. But Rangers still pretty comfortable.
Milne stepping across Gassama, who's down under pressure from Jampé. And then the Rangers fans wanted a free kick, they're not getting one, but Sharmiti's nicked it back off Jampé and moves it infield to Gassama, cut out by Knust, he gets it to Armstrong and out to Shinnie on the left, driven forward to Nisbet, little touch to Armstrong on the halfway line, his pass forwards cut out by Tavernier though, then Raskin gets onto it and it's nicked back infield by Gassama to Tavernier, who scoops it right to left of the centre circle for Jayden McHoma on this near side, up the line for Moore as Mikey Moore turns it back the way to Fernandez. Rangers looking, Derek's in Aberdeen had a good little spell there, but Rangers have got back in control of the game, and the remarkable title race that they're in now, having only won 5 of their opening 14 league games. Here's Moore dancing into the box, shooting, and it's blocked there by Mitov at his near post. It goes up high into the air and Aberdeen clear. It's only half away though. It's really brilliant, positive play by Mikey Moore down this left-hand side as he made his way into the Aberdeen area. And now it's Fernandez, back out to Moore on this left-hand side. Up against Bilalovic, shoots at goal. Mitov though will hold on comfortably to that one. It was a pretty weak effort. 69 on the clock. Aberdeen 0, Rangers 1.
That was weak. You know, I think the earlier opportunity, Moore doing extremely well. And Nicky Devlin taking himself right out of the game. You know, and allowing Moore in on Mitov. But a good save from Mitov again. The Aberdeen goalkeeper's been called upon to make a number of saves this afternoon, early evening, and so far he stood up to it.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. Those 5 wins in their opening 14 league games, Rangers, they drew 8 and lost only the 1, of course, but way too many draws. But they've won 6 in their last 7 coming into this, and looking to win 5 on the bounce in the league for the first time since last February. Yeah, they're in good shape right now, leading this game 1-0, and they're on the ball here with Moore left of the centre circle. Rolls it infield to Diamonde, and he's got Tavernier wide right if he wants him. Instead he uses Asgard ahead of him. And back to Suter and then to Diamonde, right of the centre circle. Frustration for Danny Rule, he's not happy the ball didn't go forward there as it's moved into the feet of Asgard, and he's been bullied off it by Stuart Armstrong, who rolls it to Bilalovic, who's making his way through the Rangers half here. Bilalovic away from Fernandez, he can release Nisbet, right hand side of the box, Kevin Nisbet's on it, looking for an option in red, drives it across, comes off Fernandez and behind for the corner. Just didn't look any real belief in the Aberdeen players there as Nisbet took it up in a brilliant area, right hand side of the box.
No, you know, I'm not sure if Kevin Nisbet knew what he was going to do with that ball, and he ended up just putting the instep on it, and it's deflected off a Rangers player and goes out for the corner. But you know, a little bit better from Aberdeen. At least they're making inroads into the Rangers penalty box, and they've won themselves a corner.
Fired blanks in league games this season more than anyone else. 9 coming into this weekend. Haven't scored since Carlson's equaliser against Dundee United here as Armstrong drifts the corner in, flicked away by Asgard. The wait goes on for an Aberdeen goal from a set play this season against the team. I think it's scored more from set plays than anyone else this season, and Rangers have a chance here to break with numbers forward. It's Moore knocking it forward to the right hand side for Sharmiti. The wind kind of helped the Aberdeen players there because it took a little bit longer to get to Sharmiti, so they managed to get defenders back behind the ball as McHoma picks up from Diamonde on this left hand side, out to JD Gassama. Popped up on the left, up against Shinnie, gets away from him with ease, down to the byline, blocked by Devlin, breaks to Gassama, goes down in the box, penalty Rangers. Gassama fouled, and Rangers will have a chance for a second goal here in the final 18 minutes of the game. Good shuffle by Gassama to draw the challenge, and it's a penalty here for the visitors.
Yeah, I mean, it is good work from Gassama, initially taking on Nicky Devlin. And then there's contact, there's minimal contact, I would suggest.
Yeah, Shinnie on Gassama.
Yeah, Shinnie who's came back, you know, but there is, I think the referee, if he's asked to have a look at it, will have to then judge how much contact for him to go down, for Gassama to go down. There's minimal contact in my book, but there is contact as he changes direction and tries to go back the park as Graham Shinnie comes in and challenges him.
It looked enough contact to me, certainly. James Tavernier has got the ball. He's scored more goals than anyone else, than anyone under any other club against Aberdeen, sorry Derek.
Yeah, no, the contact is minimal, but I would still deem that a penalty kick.
Enough for it to be a foul, yeah. He scored more against Aberdeen than anyone else when I was trying to get out there. As Tavernier looks to make it number 15 against the Dons. I think his next best is St Johnstone. He scored 10 against them. But there's no suggestion David Dickinson's been asked to come over and review it. So James Tavernier, with 17 minutes of this game left to play, you would think, against an Aberdeen side that can't score for love nor money right now, would be enough to finish the match. Tavernier stands over the ball in the wind and the rain, right-footed, scores, bottom left. Rangers have a 2-goal cushion now, and James Tavernier loves a goal against Aberdeen. He's just added another to the collection, and that will squeeze the gap at the top of the Premiership as well, because there's surely no way back for a rudderless Aberdeen now. It's Aberdeen 0, Rangers 2, and Danny Röhl's team will go to within 3 of the leaders again.
That's a brilliant penalty though, Liam. You know, James Tavernier, expert at taking the spot kicks. You know, he's kind of a man of steel there, just waiting for his opportunity. He gives Mitov no chance. He puts it to Mitov right. Tavernier's left low and with power, and the goalkeeper's not going to get anywhere near there. So, you know, a fantastic strike from. I'm watching replay as well, and there definitely is contact, but there's not a great deal of contact. But there's contact in the box, and there's a goal-scoring opportunity. Then the referee has got a decision to make. Once he's made that decision, Tavernier brilliantly slotted it home.
Plenty Aberdeen supporters trooping for the exits now in the wake of Tavernier finding the net with that penalty, expertly done by the Rangers captain. They watched Celtic go back above them yesterday, but they have put themselves surely in an unassailable position in this football match against Aberdeen. I've just mentioned it, that Jesper Karlsson goal against Dundee United, and only one in recent times. As Armstrong gets it back from Bilalovic, back out to Devlin. He's not getting on to that. That will be a throw into Rangers deep inside their own half. Well, Danny Röhl absolutely delighted down there, that's for sure. He was celebrating when the ball crashed into the net there from Tavernier. They're in a title race for sure. And how on earth that's the case? Well, it's testament to the German who's come in and turned the tide, because they were so off it. That draw with Falkirk, which sealed Russell Martin's fate, feels like a heck of a long time ago now. But for managerless Aberdeen, they look like they're on the road to nowhere really at the moment. That's a massive concern, and a huge opportunity to build on the Scottish Cup win. They made an absolute mess of things from top to bottom at this club in recent times, and they're going to have to focus on their next match, which a potentially tricky start to their Scottish Cup title defence when they host Raith Rovers here. Rovers showed some resilience against Arbroath yesterday, but it really has been a tale of woe. Apart from that Scottish Cup victory in the odd standout league result, Dave Cormack took over as chairman in November 2019. This is their 229th Premiership match since then. They've only won 82 of them, going through 5 different full-time managers in the process. The revolving door, which was spinning again a week ago as Tillene departed. And I mentioned before that second Rangers goal went in, it looks like a club that needs leadership from somewhere. Luke's Fanninsteel, the sporting director, in the dugout again this afternoon as Rangers pick up with Moore. Dances away from Sherry. Brilliant play by Mikey Moore, albeit won back by Armstrong in the end. He was outnumbered. It was played out to this left-hand side for Bilalovic. It's away from Shermiti, but it goes straight to Asgard. Now it's with Meghoma, and more empty red seats in the home sections, Willie.
Yeah, well, you can understand why, Liam. You know, it's been a really disappointing time for Aberdeen. They're 2-0 down against their arch rivals, Rangers, who you know have shown that they are, and they have been the better team on the night so far. And you know, that leadership, where is that leadership for Aberdeen going to come from? Can't see it out there just now.
Asgard, left-hand side of the box, pulls it back, and Armstrong gets enough on it to force it back to Mitov. Well, this looks like a formality now. for Rangers and for Danny Rule, given the conditions, given this is normally one of their toughest away fixtures, he'll be absolutely elated to get back down the road tonight with 3 priceless points.
At this moment in time, we'll be very happy, because the performance has been good. They've controlled large parts of the game. They've created opportunities. They're maybe a little bit unfortunate to have a goal chopped off as well. They're 2 goals up, 2, and Aberdeen really is just searching for some crumbs of comfort, perhaps some maybe leadership crumbs of comfort out there to actually put a little bit of pressure on Rangers in the last 10 minutes of this game.
Shinnie has got it through to Devlin at the edge of the Rangers box, back to Polvara, looking for some space. Isn't much of that though, and then it's an offside flag's gone up here as Polvara lashes it into the stand anyway. And the Aberdeen supporters having a go at the assistant, but he's got to allow the move to come to some kind of fruition before he can put the flag up. Change for Aberdeen. Adil Ashish is going to come on for Graham Shinnie. And the captain, having given away the penalty that led to Rangers' second goal, will be replaced by Ashish, who missed out the trip to Ibrox after being injured against Falkirk in Yemi Taline's final match in charge last Saturday. Comes on 11 minutes of the 90 to play. Peter leaving down there. It's a thankless task at the moment. How quickly would you be wanting to get a manager in? I mean, the transfer window's open for a start. You would probably think signings would want to know who the manager's going to be before they sign for a football team.
Yeah, Liam, I think as quickly as possible, but you don't want to rush it either. But I'm assuming that the sporting director is compiling the list and working it down, making it shorter and shorter. I'm sure it is quite a big list at this moment in time, but you've got to get it down to some real contenders. And it's not as if I think you could see that Jimmy Taline was not kind of a progress in the way the club were wanting them to progress or wanting the team to progress. So I think the work would have been started some time ago. So you would hope as soon as possible, in the hope that they can make a decent decision and get in someone that can turn the fortunes of this club round.
And Danny Rule was able to make a signing earlier today with the Dane Tochi Chukwueze arriving, having been at Sturm Graz most recently, former North Shetland and Lyngby player, Denmark under-21 international. He's a defensive midfielder. He's the first of the recruits. You would expect there to be plenty more ins and outs at Ibrox this month. We're in the final 10 minutes of the 90 here. Aberdeen 0, Rangers 2. Rangers on the ball with Asgard up against Aushish. Just outside the centre circle, flashes it to Tavernier to his right. Now it's with Raskan at the edge of the box to Gassama. Gassama challenged by Jamfi, and behind it goes. It's come off. Gassama last is the ref, and that'll be a goal kick to Aberdeen. Gassama's claiming corner. He's not getting one. But what he will be getting, you would think from this point, is 3 points to take on the long trip back down the road tonight. And whilst the snow's eased off, it's not going to be a particularly nice drive for anyone going back down the road or even into the Shire here. There was an amber warning earlier on today for snow. We'll get to Derek Ferguson's thoughts in just a moment. Aberdeen have a free kick just inside the Rangers half. Aushish takes it, knocks it back to Milne. Derek, Rangers going 2-0 up and cruising now to 3 big points.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought there was a period early on in the second half where Aberdeen were maybe starting to get to grips with the game, but got to be honest, Liam, they've just fell away and they look like strangers to each other. There's no patterns of play, combinations. They look all over the ship, to be honest with you, Liam. One of the poorest performances I've seen an Aberdeen side produce at Pittodrie against a Rangers side.
Yeah, here's Gassama driving forward. Moore can't get the touch, and it comes all the way through and out for a throw into Aberdeen on this near side. In fact, it's come off a Rangers player, and the referee indicating that is the case. It'll be a Rangers throw-in on this near side after a good positive run there by JD Gassama down the right hand side.
Well, it was brilliant, wasn't it? Gassama. And it's a type of cross that goes into the box that just needs a touch. Moore was pretty close to it but just couldn't get his boot on it.
McHoma on the near side. Now it's Moore getting onto the back heel down towards the byline. And comes back to McHoma, level with the Aberdeen penalty spot to the right foot. It's the cross in. Aushish leaves it, Milne clears it. Breaks to Raskan, now to his left, Diamonde down the left hand side. McHoma, first time left foot cross comes in, headed away by Milne. Aushish can't control, it's scooped away by Armstrong. And now it's with Fernandez, he finds Diamonde. Out to the left-hand side, Mike Homa. Ball forwards, poor, straight to Auchiche, who finds Armstrong, then to Auchiche again for Devlin. It's the touch to Polvara, and now with Velalovic. Turns away from Raskan, now it's with Auchiche in the centre circle, but he overruns it, but he gets the free kick on the halfway line. Aberdeen 0, Rangers 2, we played 83.
Yeah, time running out. You know, if Aberdeen are you know, hoping to take anything from this game, then you know, they need to create and take you know, the opportunity. The problem is they haven't been creating anything, and they're still not creating anything. You know, misunderstanding completely there. Velalovic with Stuart Armstrong in this occasion, but you know, you could pick out many Aberdeen players this evening that haven't linked up properly.
No two players look like they're on the same wavelength. That's a damning indictment of what's going on here right now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you know, you're not seeing anything that's giving you hope that they might be able to turn this game around. They might be able to cause a problem or two for Rangers, maybe even give them a little scare towards the end of the game. But as we sit here and as we commentate, we're not seeing that.
Rangers have it with Mike Homa, beaten to it by Devlin. It's going out to play for a Rangers throw-in. Devlin thinks that should be his, as does his interim manager Peter Leven. On this near side, it's going to be back-to-back defeats to Rangers in the space of 5 days for Aberdeen. A huge 6 points for Rangers, and important, having gone to Celtic Park last week and eventually won pretty comfortably 3-1, to back it up with back-to-back wins over Aberdeen. Excellent for Danny Rule as Moore breaks forward into the box. Mikey Moore, Rangers looking for a third here. Asgard with a little dummy. He thought Sharmiti was in a better position than he was. Sharmiti back towards Tavernier. It's picked up by Keskinen, but Tavernier wins it back in double quick time. Finds Raskan, back to Tavernier. Raskan over on the far side. Armstrong for company, knocks it in field to Telo Asgard. Velalovic manages to tow it half away. Raskan then out to the right hand side for Sharmiti. Given what Hearts did earlier on at Dens, squeezing home 1-0 victors despite playing half the game with 10 men. A 1-0 win at Dundee, taking them 6 clear at the top. Rangers will close that to within 3, but Hearts will have played a game fewer, as the shot from Gassama is held on to by Mitov, and that Hearts game in hand will be played on Wednesday night when they host St Mirren, the League Cup winners. They're struggling a little bit just now. Hearts will be big favourites to win that game too. Celtic face Falkirk away on Wednesday. And yesterday's draw at Easter Road between Hibs and Motherwell did neither of those teams favours when it comes to a potential title challenge of their own. If it is to just be the 3 clubs, it's better than it has been in recent years in this division, decades in fact. As Gassama comes forward, slight challenge from Mill, breaks to Armstrong, who feeds it in field to Auchiche. Jamfi over on the left. It's a run from Keskinen to the touchline side, but he decides to move it in field to Auchiche. 4 of the 90 to play. 2-0 to Rangers. It's out with Keskinen on the far side, looking for Jamfi, away by Suter and out for a throw-in on the far side. From an Aberdeen point of view, Willie, it's a good job that they picked up all those points in late October into November, because otherwise they'd be in a real scrap right at the bottom.
Yeah, it was looking more promising then, but that certainly drifted away, and it's desperate stage for the club, you know, managerless as well, and bottom 6
again. Here's Keskinen up the edge of the box, shoots tamely at Butlin, albeit he spilled it, but he's going to get on to under no pressure. The Rangers keeper, and it stays 2-0 to Rangers. And Derek Ferguson, I mentioned it there, having won at Celtic Park. Danny Rule would have challenged his players to get 6 points out of 6 in the double header with Aberdeen, and they've duly done that.
Yeah, and the surprising thing is, Liam, they've done it pretty comfortably. I expected a hell of a lot more from this Aberdeen side, certainly at Pittodrie, but pretty powder puff, to be honest with you, and it could have been more for Rangers. They've missed, obviously they've a goal chopped off, Moores had 1 or 2 opportunities, so it's been a pretty comfortable afternoon so far, and 2-0, I think it flatters Aberdeen.
Well, yeah, perhaps lucky he's not conceded a third when Fernandes headed into the net in the first half. Rule to have fouled Mitov. Nasser Giga will come on for Rangers for the final few minutes, and he's going to come on for Mikey Moore by the look of it. not sure if Danny Rule will be making any more alterations at this point. But Ogobi Giga has been away at the African Cup of Nations over the course of the last few weeks, but he is going to come back into the fold, and he's seen Emmanuel Fernandez take his place in the team. And Moore goes off and gets the handshakes from the coaching staff. And there's a throw into Rangers, a bit level with the Aberdeen 6-yard line. Ball back to Asgard, infield to Raskan. Finds Asgard on the near side. He's had his legs whipped away from him by Polvara, and that'll be a free kick to Rangers, just a few feet from the near side touchline, as they try, Willie Miller, to add some gloss to the scoreline.
Well, yeah, did they really need that gloss? I think they're quite happy with the 2-0 scoreline, and perhaps just trying to run the clock down. But you know, it's a set piece. It's another set piece that Aberdeen have got to defend, and to take that on to 3, I think would certainly add the gloss to this victory. But it's not been a hard fought victory, I don't feel, and certainly Aberdeen need to improve vastly.
Well, Aberdeen's next 2 league games are against the bottom 2. Play Kilmarnock and Livingston. The Livy game's here in the Rugby Park for the other one. Tavernier bends the free kick in. Auchies wins the header and heads it behind for a Rangers corner on this left hand side. There will be more activity on the Rangers bench, and the Aberdeen fans have somehow managed to conjure up their voices to give Bojan Miovski some treatment after his tear-stained departure from Pittodrie. Willie, he re-emerges for the first time since then in a Rangers shirt.
Yes,
he replaces Sharmiti.
Indeed, I don't think you can expect anything else. I mean, if you've got a player that is coming off the bench and one that really starved for the club as well, and you think they've seen the back to him to foreign countries, then he comes back as a Rangers player, then you can just hear that reception he's getting.
On he comes, and wouldn't be just typical for Aberdeen if he was to get in the end of this corner. Tavernier and Meghoma once again over it, down in front of the tunnel off to our left. We played the 93 being added. In it comes from Tavernier. It's knocked half away. Breaks to Gassama at the edge of the box, blocked by Polvara. Then breaks out to Nisbet, who knocks it forward to Adil Auchies. Drives forward and slips it through to absolutely nobody. My goodness, who was that for?
That was a ghost runner.
He's seeing things.
Exactly. You know, he had. Who was it? I think it was Keskinen to his left-hand side. That was a pass, surely.
Here it comes to Devlin for Aberdeen down this right-hand side. It would surely just be consolation if Aberdeen were to score here. Bilalovic in the box, tries to pull it back. It's blocked though there by Diamonde. He's gone about his business really well in tough conditions this afternoon. Going to be another change for Rangers. It's going to be the lesser spotted Rabi Matondo who's going to come on for the last couple of minutes. Keskinen wide in the left for Aberdeen. Pulls it across. Easy block by Suter, but it does go behind for the corner. Aberdeen looking to at least end this goal drought, which shows no sign of abating right now. They can score here with less than 2 minutes to go until the final whistle. There's not many Dons fans have hung around to watch this, though. Perhaps half of them have gone away. There'll be a corner to be taken by Stuart Armstrong over on that far side with the right foot in swinger. And he bends it in towards the back post area. It's headed away by Tavernier. He breaks to Auchies, right foot, bent ball in, back in from the right foot, knocked away by Raskan. Breaks to Nisbet at the edge of the box. They're going to get the break of the ball, shows too much of it to Suter, who wallops it clear. And it comes all the way through to Mitov, who'll let it go out, trundle out for a throw in on this near side. A frustrated looking Peter Leven down there. It's a thankless task for him right now as Rangers bring Rabi Matondo on for some action. He's been injured all season and he's going to get the last few seconds, and he will come on for Rangers just for these last few minutes for Gassama.
It's just trying to allow that clock to tick down, isn't it? A word of praise for John Suter. I think he's been rock solid at the back, and then that occasion there where, you know, Aberdeen have got a little opportunity. He sees the danger, he reads it well, and listen, no messing, no nonsense, just hoofs it up the park. He's defended expertly, and he has defended expertly for Rangers throughout his time here. He takes the captain's armband, I think, as James Tavernier goes off as well.
Yeah,
so
Aarons is coming on for him.
He's been outstanding.
Well, this will be the first time that Aberdeen have lost 4 games in a row without scoring a single goal since December 2010 at the tail end of Mark McGee's time as manager. Going back into last season, they've now only won 7 of their last 26 league matches. At home, they've only won 12 of their last 30 in all competition, dating back to a 4-1 win over Dundee in November 24, when things were looking rosy. Rangers just keeps this run going. Another win, and that's what they're going to have to continue to do. Look at what's happening at Tynecastle now. Martin O'Neill back at Celtic Park. And they've got a host of games at home coming up as the final whistle goes here. And insipid Aberdeen fall to defeat again. 4 straight losses in a row. And for the first time, as I say, without scoring in 4 defeats on the bounce since 2010. But for Rangers, it's a huge victory. Aberdeen didn't put up much of a fight at all today, but Rangers still had a job to do, and goals from Asgard in 23 and a Tavernier penalty in 74 were enough. Fernandes had the ball in the net with a header. Mitov was fouled after a VAR review by John Beaton. And David Dickinson concurred, the on-field referee, and that goal was wiped out. No doubting about Tavernier and Asgard's finishing, though. Outstanding goal from Asgard and an outstanding penalty from Tavernier. And Rangers move on and close the gap to Hearts to within 3 points again at the top of the Premiership. So it was important in that respect that Rangers picked up the 3 points, and they've backed up the Derby victory with back-to-back wins over Aberdeen. First at Ibrox, 2-0, and now 2-0 at Pittodrie was enough against the managerless Dons, who look hopelessly lost right now, all over the place from top to bottom. This club needs a refresh, and it's going to have to happen pretty soon, you would think. But for Rangers, it's another win. It's now 6 wins in their last 7 as they march on at the top of the Premiership. Aberdeen with lots to think about. It finished here at Pittodrie in dreadful conditions. Aberdeen 0, Rangers 2.
On digital